Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with John. Happy New Year to everybody. Michael Paul, it's good to have you on today with Michael Knight. Michael Knight, Art of Strength, still one of the best workouts I've ever done. And Michael Paul, Macro Mike. And we're going to talk a little bit today. Michael Knight and I talked yesterday. We're going to dive in a little bit deeper today. It's as we record this, it's January 4th, 2022. I think everybody is figuring out how to have an optimal, healthy year, how to get off their COVID weight, right? How to get back in the right mindset. And so, Michael Paul, thanks for being here today. And I thought we could talk a little bit about, eating and all about, how you get your clients, Michael Paul, on the right track. But I thought maybe Michael Knight could give you a quick intro on how you kind of have helped some of his clients from Art of Strength.
I'm just going to tell you how I found him, John. I was working with Karen Schlutter from the Detroit Lions. She was the only one of two female chiropractors in the NFL, and I hadn't seen her in a year. And she walked in, and I went, "Oh my goodness, what the hell?" She goes, "I met this guy, Macro Mike." I go, "I need his number." She goes, "No, he doesn't do it." I go, "You don't understand. I want his number." He created a meal plan for me after he filling out an evaluation. It came back. It looked like something out of a chemistry lab. And I call her. She goes, I know. Just get through it. And from that day forward, John, I understood what it was to put someone in front of your life that actually you trust with your life. And that would be Michael Paul. We've been together for a while, and he's just incredible. And I'll let him take it from there.
Yeah, I just want to say one shout out to Karen. She's great.
She's awesome.
I've been to Karen a bunch. I actually interviewed her on one of my original podcasts. The podcast actually got lost, but she was it got corrupted. But she's amazing. She's a great talent, and
that's what I surround myself with, John. Nothing but great talent.
Karen's great.
Michael's no different. Yep.
Yeah. All right, Michael. Good morning. Good to see you again.
Good morning, John.
So talk to us. So just let's talk fundamentals first. How should people be looking at their refrigerator and cupboard, and then let's work backwards from there.
So they probably want to address things prior to the food items getting into the refrigerators and the cabinets.
Yeah.
So in general, I would say most people tend to overcomplicate their approach to a healthy lifestyle, healthy eating. And they tend to switch from one approach to another. They'll try vegetarian, vegan. They'll try paleo, low carb, this version, that version. They'll try these different things for a couple of days, maybe a week or two, see small amount of progress, and then want to switch to something else. So they overcomplicate things by trying to read into too many details, and then they don't give it enough time. Their expectations aren't aligned properly. So it's one of the things that I work with my clients on, working through a questionnaire that they provide me with, some understanding of where they currently are, where they want to go. And I use that to build out the approach, an assessment, and then a meal plan for them. And then obviously communicate with them, and we work through that. And I address their questions, explain to them why certain food items are in there, why other ones that they might like to eat either aren't in there or not as prevalent as they might hope.
Yeah.
So that's a very general description of some of the approach, but that's how I would look at it.
Let's talk about mindset for a minute, right? So, I know for me, for example, eating healthy through the day is very easy. Come 6 o'clock through 6 to 9 p.m., not as easy. Right.
Okay.
I mean, my mindset has to really go into overdrive, and I have to really kind of set some hard pressed rules for myself in order to know that I will wake up feeling great. And so I know everybody has different time slots, but how do you get, you're eating clean, you're feeling good, you're thinking to yourself, I can do this forever. And then 6 o'clock, whatever that time is. What's the mindset? What are the ways to, talk to yourself to get through the day?
So a couple things. One, you said something very important. that, come 6 o'clock or whatever that time point is, you have to really start focusing and to get yourself into that phase. The issue actually with a lot of people is that earlier in the day, they're in that mindset. They are focused, they're driven, they're working. So they're usually not eating enough. They may skip breakfast, have the power lunch, and then come evening, all of a sudden they're become decoupled from their stress of the day. They're relaxing, and suddenly they are become more aware of their body and like, oh, I'm really hungry. So that sets in, and they may not feel as resolved to their diet because they've been too strict all day. The different approach would be to front load the calories, make sure that you do eat throughout the day an appropriate amount. Rather, you work with someone, either me or someone like me, that can help you determine what that appropriate amount of food is and how to break that out. And then come evening, you'll find your body's actually fairly nourished. You're not feeling as compelled, to eat as much or eat inappropriate things. And then your selection becomes important.
But let's talk. Oh, sorry, but let's talk about two things with that, because I think what I would think people would think are the following: one, I'm not hungry in the morning, and two, what about intermittent fasting? So if I should front load but not eat, because I see people talking about intermittent fasting that I shouldn't eat till 11 a.m. or 1 p.m. How do people compute that? So
as far as intermittent fasting goes, it's an approach to eating similar to a lot of other approaches, right? There's a prescribed way of doing something, and that approach can work for certain people, and it can work for them for a certain amount of time. Not all diets or approaches to eating are appropriate for all people or at all times, different life stages, as an example. So intermittent fasting can be a tool, but it's not a panacea. It's not something that's useful for everyone, and I wouldn't suggest it for everyone. It depends on the client. As far as individuals that don't feel hungry first thing in the morning or earlier in the day, I understand that. Part of it is actually conditioning ourselves. It may start off with one piece of toast with a little bit of almond butter and half a cup of blueberries. As an example, 1 or 2 egg whites and a piece of quality toast. So start small, something palatable, something you enjoy, to condition the body. And again, the body will get accustomed to that, and you'll find that you are able to eat earlier in the day, nourishing the body so that you're not as hungry come evening.
Yeah. Yesterday, Michael Knight and I talked about, Michael was talking about a calorie deficit, take your weight times it by 10. And that's kind of a gist number. How should people be thinking about calories?
So I would agree with Mike, that some of those formulas can work, where you take your body weight, multiply it by a certain number, and you get a ballpark. Okay, so that can be useful. And for most people, it really depends on their activity level, obviously. If you have an individual that's working in an office, exercising, casually a couple times a week, somewhere in the 10, 11, calories per pound may work for them. You have someone that is exercising fairly regularly, vigorously, that number is going to be way low for them. So it really depends on the individual. Again, working with someone that can help you determine that can be of value.
Yeah.
Also, the scale and your hunger. If whatever you're eating, whatever your current diet is, and you're exercising, what's your weight doing? Is it plateaued? Is it consistent? Okay, then either my recommendation would be to up your exercise a little bit and then see what impact that has on your body weight, your energy level, fatigue, and so on, and adjust appropriately. Meaning if your weight's ticking down slowly at a reasonable pace, then stick with it, keep going. Yeah. If your weight starts dropping, you probably need to increase your calories.
Let's talk about water. How much water should people be drinking? I'd love to hear you about water and Michael Knight about water, right? I mean, you're working out, how much water should the average person be drinking through a workout and through the day?
John, I can go start first.
Go
Mike,
ahead.
whatever Mike tells me.
Well, in general, I would say that most individuals don't drink an adequate amount of just water, just getting quality, clean, pure water. Okay.
Yeah.
That said, how much does depend on the individual. Again, obviously, right? You have a 200-pound man versus a 110-pound female. The recommendations are going to be different. The standard rule of thumb that's been out for a while that is inadequate is take your body weight, divide that in half, and consume that many ounces. So a 200-pound man obviously would consume about 100 ounces of water. That's too low, in my opinion. Definitely, if that individual is exercising vigorously, if they happen to be the type of individual that perspires a lot, they need to compensate for that. If they're also in a warm environment, it's obviously not summertime right now, but if it were and they're sweating and they decide to do some yard work, then they need to compensate for that as well. So
one of the things I've been, maybe you can help me on this, Mike. One of the things I used to do as an athlete is that it was the same thing. Take your body weight in half, but don't include the water you drank during your workouts. That was just to replenish, like you're talking about. It's just replenish what you're doing during the workout and go on still drinking that 100 ounces outside that.
That can work as well. The bottom line is you do want to make sure you get an adequate amount of fluids, and most people underestimate how much they need.
Yeah.
So somewhere between 100 to 150 ounces, even for an individual that is exercising and sweating a good amount, that may even be too low depending on how much of an individual we're talking about.
Yeah. All right. Good. All right. I'd like to end today asking you both a question about, we're talking about food and mindset and how to, have an optimal 2022 and be healthy. Let's layer in the importance of sleep with all of this, because I think I've read tons of studies about the importance of sleep. Arianna Huffington is a big advocate and has written, amazing things about the importance of sleep. Talk about sleep, the amount of sleep somebody should get, and just the importance of where it plays into the whole circle of everything you're talking about.
It's critical. Critical. I would categorize that the same way I would water. Most people underestimate what is needed. We all trade sleep for, I have to get this project done. I have to get this exam prep completed. There's always something, and sleep is one of the areas people tap too often, and the detriment to their health, their mental well-being isn't realized right away. It's something that accumulates over time, and it can sneak up on you. And then it's not necessarily too late, but some damage can be done in little ways to just your cognitive ability, your interpersonal relationships. I mean, the list could easily go on, but sleep is critical.
Like they were said, if you could bottle sleep, you would be a billionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's true. Yeah.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. Guys, it's it's always great connecting with both of you. I know you've been on, multiple shows with me. I always learn every time I talk to you, and I know, the Think community will as well. Not just people who watch live, but how we repurpose this on all the podcast platforms, et cetera. So I appreciate you guys taking time to chat with me and the Think community this morning. Michael Knight, I know you'll be on again tomorrow. Michael, I'm not sure if you're going to be on some more this week. Hopefully you will. We'll figure that out. But I appreciate you guys, and Think community. Thanks so much for tuning in. My last speed question. If somebody is listening to this, we'll start, Michael Knight, with you. What is one simple thing that they can do to take that first step?
Get out of bed.
Okay. Michael
Be
Paul?
consistent with your time in the morning of getting out of bed.
Yeah, it's great. Michael Paul?
Exactly. Get started and stay consistent.
Okay, good. All right, guys, where can people connect with you? Michael Paul, where can people connect with you?
They can reach me via email at mike@macromikes.com.
My cell phone, 248-231-3732, and I will answer.
All right. I'm the same way. I give everybody my cell phone, and I
Absolutely.
answer my own phone. Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm happy to share my cell phone, 810-459-1044.
I'll share mine, 248-535-7796. Guys, always a pleasure. Michael Knight, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Michael Paul,
Can't look forward to it.
Later this week. Thanks, everybody.
Sounds good.
Thanks, John.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.